On today's episode of Bucked Up.
But 2014 was the worst year until this war right now. 2014 was like huge. Like it was like the death count was like insane. Like the and to get in was very hard, and to get out was very hard. Our plan was to stay for 2 days. Like, let's get in, shoot everything we need, and get out. We don't want to to risk our lives, but we couldn't. Every day that we tried to get out, the border was closed.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Welcome to the Bucked Up podcast. I don't know if I'll look at the side of your face. We can both do it like we're a Sunday cartoon where
No,
we're
no,
faced
I got,
inside.
let me get my shit proper here. Okay, am I like proper? Am I?
You're perfect. You're perfect.
Am I in the middle?
And you
Right?
got your Eminem shirt on.
Oh yeah, the Marshall Mathers LP. I got it on. I wear I usually wear those rap shirts like for the gigs, like for the shows. I use them, as a way like of like a. I don't do the suit thing. I do, I and the rap the albums. I think it's a fun way of like doing something like for hip hop, but also like building my image, like, oh, this is the guy that got the rap t-shirts. In case you didn't memorize none of the jokes, none of the subjects, it's the guy that got the rap t-shirts.
You think people are going to recognize the shirts more than the hair? I feel like they're gonna
Oh
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah. A big fat guy with a yellow hair. I think he
No,
doesn't need
no,
like
no. I
no,
didn't
no, no,
say that.
no, no, I don't know. He doesn't need a shirt to be recognizable. But yeah, that's a point that sometimes I forget that when I get to a place, like I'm physically a big guy, and tall, etc., etc. But I'm very shy and very like, oh, I don't talk like to people, da da da. And sometimes I forget that whenever I get to a place, I'm the dude that everybody looks to. I don't need like more like a t-shirt like, oh, it's the guy with the Eminem t-shirt. No, 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 no. It's that dude that's so huge that he got here and everybody looked at him. Sometimes I forget like that I have that that
Wait, how tall are you?
Hollywood star. I don't know how to say that, like, because you guys
I'm
got
gonna
get this
Google it. I'll
crazy.
Google it. I'll Google
It's
it
like
as soon as
one.
you
It's
say
like I am 1 meter and 98 centimeters.
one
That's like,
meter, 98 centimeters in feet
what's
is
that in America?
we're the same height. All right, I'm like
For
6'4".
real?
You're 1 inch taller than me, which is like
Oh,
that much.
wow! Holy
I'm
shit!
6'4" and I weigh 270 pounds, which is, let me Google that. 270 pounds to
In
122 kilograms.
I think I'm 130, so I think we're close.
See, we're the same size.
Holy shit! I was talking about you like to my wife like yesterday. I'm like, this guy, he does comedy, but he's a hip hop nerd. He's a white dude, and then like you're gonna talk to yourself tomorrow. And like, yeah, I mean, yeah, and then the guy's like super tall. Like, we got a lot of things in common, man. I appreciate you for for reaching out, and I've been checking your work online, and congratulations for what you've been doing and creating, man.
Thank you. How did you find out about Griselda? Or I would say, how did you find out about rap? How did I want to hear the whole
Okay,
story,
okay.
kind of.
Let's dig in. Let's dig in quickly into rap first.
Okay.
I think like my first rap record that I got like in my hands, like pre-internet era, was that Tupac Greatest Hits. That's just like super huge, and you cannot like every song is great. And then I was like, oh, this is awesome. I gotta get more of that. That was like 99. I think I was like 10 years old. And I'm like, this is great. I love this. And with that, I think Dr. Dre got in the mix because there was the Chronic back then. I had no idea about Eminem. By the way, I got to Eminem through the 2000 record, the 2001 record, the Chronic 2, whatever people call it. I and then I'm like, okay, Tupac, Dr. Dre, Eminem, and then I got to listen to I had no we like without internet, without I didn't have cable and shit, so I didn't
Could you
really have.
understand what they were rapping about?
I started studying English very young. That was a very smart move from my mom. She put me like to study English when I was like 7 or 8. So when I was like 10, I knew like a few words, so I could like sit down and listen to it and like get like if because there's a lot of slangs that I was not familiar with, like your teacher doesn't teach you what is a hoe, you gotta learn what the whole word hoe means by yourself. You don't learn that in school. uh, so yeah, I mean, I could get like some of what they were saying, and I was like, oh, this is very cool. And then I got to know like the Brazilian ones, because I'm from Rio de Janeiro, the city. I live in São Paulo, but I'm from Rio de Janeiro. The biggest acts like back in the day were from São Paulo. São Paulo did the for the hip hop is born in São Paulo, in Brazil, in São Paulo. So São Paulo in the beginning had the biggest acts. So a friend gave me this CD. It's a one of the classics of the culture here. It's called Sobrevivendo no Inferno. It would be translated like Surviving in Hell, and it's a great album. It's by a group called Racionais MCs. And they are like the biggest group like they are like a mix of Public Enemy with NWA. It's really heavy shit. And then I was hooked. Then I got like my English, my stuff in English, and I got my stuff in Portuguese. Talk about places that I know, and the word that we used for whole, I already knew the word is vagia, and I'm aware of that word. I know that word. I hear this word a lot around the streets.
Was it
Uh,
Vajia?
Vagia, yeah, vagia, or
Oh, I'm gonna start saying
vagabundo.
that in public. I'm gonna be like, look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
that,
yeah.
look at that
Don't go,
Vajia.
don't go around, don't go around and say, "Hey, Vagias." Don't do that. That's a bad thing.
Look at that group of Vajias over
You're gonna get in
there.
trouble if you you know. But that was the thing, That was like, Then then like every year, I was like, always in touch with the culture. And then like I started to work with rap. Like I started doing comedy around 2007. 2007, I started doing stand up. 2008, I started doing a show on MTV, and I was on MTV for like 3 years. And just like yours MTV, ours MTV also don't show video clips, music videos. They show other stuff. And we had like a great run. We had like 3 years on MTV. And then I just kept like doing more comedy. Like I went to do like this sort of Brazilian version
Wait,
of
how did you get it was through comedy that you got the show, the
on
MTV show?
MTV. The MTV,
Yeah.
yeah, it was on YouTube. Like we started on YouTube before YouTube was bought by Google. A lot of people don't know that that Google bought YouTube from these guys. Yeah, we started doing like back when YouTube was like so freaking slow, and we used to do this long 20 minutes vlogs, like just like hitting on a lot of subject, improvising comedy. It was very cool. It was very fun. Like I was like 18, 19, and it was like the first big thing on Brazilian YouTube. It was the first like, wow, this thing is a series. This thing is like, because YouTube here in Brazil was more. It was a place where people would dump like funny videos. Like if a guy like said a cuss word on TV, that YouTube works for that. If someone fell, like
Like
it was
me
for.
saying Vegeta, yeah. That
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would
If
be
you say
that.
Matias, like, a guy would put that on YouTube. Like it was just like it wasn't like nobody was creating content.
Hmm.
And so we started doing that like when I was 18, 19. And we got the show on MTV. And after that, like it was one thing leading to another. Like, I had like a very, very long uh, 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 comedy in mainstream comedy career. But I'm also a journalist, like like a proper journalist, like went to school journalist kind of shit. Not that I think that you need to go to school to be a journalist, but just like explaining myself,
Yeah.
who this character
Have
is
you ever done an interview like this? Not interview, but podcast in English or anything?
in English. I think that I interviewed Crooked Eye. I interviewed Crooked Eye.
I
Like
wish I had
two.
seen that. I love Crooked Eye.
I think it's on YouTube. Like it's if you type my name, Hundred Hughes Crooked Eye, I think you can find it. And he was just great, so much wisdom. It was like really interesting to know, like understand a few of the financial mechanics of hip hop. Because here in
Mm.
Brazil, like you either a superstar or you're contemplating like getting a 9 to 5, even if you're great. Like some of the great guys, they contemplate a 9 to 5 sometimes
But
because they
that's
not.
honestly, that's what I learned about this podcast is it's
Uh-huh.
the same way. I've talked to rappers that I love and they work like cleaning bathrooms at a hospital. And I won't say names, but like
Yeah.
people that you'd be like, you have to be legendary, and you're like, damn, this is it's a weird landscape.
Yeah, man. This is something that upsets me. Like, especially like when you consider like older acts and everything. So like, yeah, where was I? Like,
You were talking about how you got into hip hop originally, and then I put you off on a bunch
oh
of
no,
tangents that were my fault. I'm sorry.
no, there's no problem. Oh, Crooked Eye, yeah, because he said like if you have like a 10,000 fan base in America, you can live and you can live well of hip hop. Like you don't need to be Drake, you don't need to be a superstar. With 10,000 like putting stuff like regularly out, like Crooked Eye, he puts like 1, 2 albums a year, and he sells merch and he does the gigs and he lives well. And I was like, oh, this is good. This is like, this is how we should be here, should be having here. 10,000 fans should be enough for you to have like a comfortable life and not have like to compromise like your art. And here it's I don't know, like
How many
I
fans do you think you need in Brazil?
to make it big,
Yeah,
like to really make it
to
big,
make
I
a
think.
living. To make a
Oh,
living.
you gotta go for at least like 100K. You need like to get those numbers really up because the guys that are making it big, they're getting like a million in like one day. Like the guys that make really big, really, really big numbers, they are making like so huge that you need like it's insane. Like again, not name like the same way, like not naming names, but I see some guys here that they get in the list like every best of the year. And I know those guys, and some of those, one of those guys went like, man, I think I'm gonna get an Uber. I'm gonna drive an Uber. And I was like, holy fuck, this is so sad about this. It's a country, it's a poor country. When money is short, the first thing that people cut from their priorities is, entertainment, art. And I was like, dude, this guy's considering, and all respect to drivers all around the world, but it is very weird when a guy that consistently gets considered one of the greatest of his art form in Brazil. He's considering driving because rap is just not paying enough.
Is
And
comedy the same way?
is comedy the same way? That's a good question. I think comedy is ahead. I think comedy is ahead because comedy you can make money through advertisement, comedy. You don't need to be like one of the superstars. That's a thing I learned. Like
It's
there
the
are
opposite. It's the opposite. Rappers can do it, comedians can't in America. Like
this
the
is
only
crazy.
reason I can do comedy full time is because of my podcast. Like if I didn't have a
Wow.
successful podcast, I'd be
Uh-huh.
able to make some money, but like I wouldn't be able to like live
I
off of it. It's crazy. It's the exact opposite here.
Wow, this is great because comedy is a little bit like if you have like I have like a small to medium fan base, and and it's
Well, I knew
enough.
some people who are fans of you.
Oh yeah, I love when I get international. But yeah, like here you just gotta like I was very fortunate like from I got back doing stand up because I stay a few years away from it. Oh yes, that's why I said the journalism thing because I got really deep into journalism like serious immigration stuff. I went to the Gaza Strip in 2014 to do a series of documentaries about it. So I
Wait,
got really
really?
for real, yeah,
Can you talk
2014.
about that a little bit? That's wild. How did you get that opportunity? How did that come together?
I was working on this TV show called CQC, CQC. Like the translation is it means it stands for Custo que custar, like whatever it takes. So it's like whatever it takes to get the whatever the content, like to get like a note being properly like done and everything else, a story being covered. So whatever it takes. So it's a comedy show the pieces are like daily show alike. But I like when I got to the show, like I got the show to do doing sports, doing the fun part of sports, like Euro Cup, World Cup, a lot of tournaments. I was there, and since I had this journalistic background, I'm discussing with like some of the producers of the show. That was the show originally from Argentina. This was like a Brazilian spin-off, Brazilian version of it actually. And there was this thing that they did in Argentina. There was more serious. It was a serious part of the show that there was like that they had like this 14, 13 documentaries, 14 minutes documentaries. And like, do you want to do this? You're going to be like away a little bit from comedy, but it seems like it's something in your alley. There's a lot of subjects that we see that you care about. And I'm like, yeah, I'm down. So, my last years on the show, which were my most successful years, were doing like just real hardcore journalism. Eventually, to remind people that I was a comedian, I would do like a sport, like a soccer match, but most of the
A
time,
soccer match on the in Gaza.
yeah, yeah. Those. Unfortunately, we're not having those yet. But
No.
hopefully
What was the
someday.
wildest thing you saw over there,
The wildest thing. I think
or that you covered?
I mean, like like where do I start? Like I can give you like uh bombing during like high bombing during like 5 in the morning, waking up like with like that very action movie style. When there's explosion and your curtains like they get, you know, that was that shit. Like I was gonna like smoke a cigarette in the middle of the night, and I would hear like a buzz. The city has this Gaza has this buzz that is like so unsettling. You get so anxious and like and what the fuck is that? And I'm smoking my cigarette and like 3 in the morning, and I'm like, holy shit, these motherfuckers got like tons of drones up in here. It's like all the time there's a drone looking at you. It's wild to because it was an awful experience, but I always like keep in my mind that like I lived that for like I think I stayed there for like 4 days. But people live that their whole life. So as difficult as it was for me, it was way more for them. And because they were there before and they was there after I left. But it's wild. Like it's totally wild. Like I was doing like an interview like with a guy in the streets, like a guy that does like, he lost his house, and he's talking about his family, etc. And then like in the background, a building was hit, a building was hit by Israel, and it was like all the time that kind of stuff. I was like, Jesus Christ. It really at some points, like when we were trying to leave Gaza, was a very tough moment, because it was during like a very it was in 2014. Just to clarify, like right now where we're living is like the worst that's been like in this. Let's put it in this century. But 2014 was the worst year, until this war right now. 2014 was like huge. Like it was like the death count was like insane. Like and to get in was very hard, and to get out was very hard. Our plan was to stay for 2 days. Like, let's get in, shoot everything we need, and get out. We don't want to like to risk our lives, but we couldn't. Every day that we tried to get out, the border was closed, and bombing was like nonstop. Like all day, you would get to be you need to be ready for something happening. Like uh I'm having like lunch, like because the schedule was so tight. I'm having lunch and some shit just explode. Gotta go put on the clothes, get the press vest, everything else. Like every time there was something happen, it really, because at some points I was like getting some imagery like in my brain, like holy shit, this does look like the opening of a Call of Duty sort of game, but everything is real. Like I was seeing like
Yeah, it is. Like it is
yeah,
the
like
opening.
because now like my only reference, like all that action when we were leaving, and there was like tanks around, and the bus was like super fast because the time window to where to leave. Like if we don't leave now, you guys gonna stay here for another 3 days. And I was like, Jesus Christ,
You
it
were like,
was
I just wanted to
very
be a sportscaster. I just wanted
yeah, yeah,
to.
dude. Dude, I was thinking that like during the thing when I was like, holy cow! Like I look what I'm doing. Like I'm doing like uh, something so intense and nerve wracking, and I was just a dude telling some stupid jokes on MTV 3 years ago. Yo, can I go back to be that dude? Just telling stupid jokes and having the nerds loving me. But after all jokes aside and all the danger aside, I was really happy that we were able to do that coverage. I was really satisfied that with the work that we've done, and it was a little bit of a polarizing work, but I was really satisfied that we did justice to the story. We did not try like to tell, we didn't go with a bias or whatever. We just told what we saw, and that was what made it like a very special moment on the show, and it became like a cultural thing because it is very hard. I was the only Brazilian reporter that got into Palestine uh, during that 2014, those attacks during that era. So it was the material that we brought, the material that we showed to people. I'm very proud of that because to this day people watch it and they get to know it, and it's a good way to get to learn about Israel and Palestine, and I'm very proud of that.
That's amazing. That's incredible. And you study journalism, so you understand this. But I do think a big problem with even right now, you're talking about how like right now is the worst since then. It's like no one talks with unbiased opinions. Everyone wants to put their opinion on it. So then it polarizes your idea either way. I'm not going to be like, what do you feel about it or what? Because that's not what you should do. You should talk about what's actually happening and let each person make their educated opinion on it, because as soon as you speak with bias on a subject, you're going to cut
Yes,
out 50% of the people that are listening immediately off the bat.
and
And
you
that's
cannot,
what's so,
and you
no one's
can't
doing that
defend your,
now.
you can't defend
Yeah.
your, you can't defend the material that you're presenting. But if you really just if you really just show what you see, and talk to all the people's, all sorts of people. We talk with Israel ministers. We talk with representatives from Hamas. We talk with everybody. We talk with doctors, Doctors Without Borders, how we call it. We talk with them. We talk with the people. We talk with, with Israeli people that lost people. We talk with Palestinian people that lost people. We just like we well and like, let's get like our opinions, like, out of the equation. Let's just like let the images and the conversations, like, the talks that we had, the interviews. They're gonna do they're gonna do justice. If you think that, this is this and this is that, that's your interpretation. It's going to be based on facts. That's the only guarantee that I can give. If you didn't like one thing, you didn't like the facts. If but like I was really like, working my way, like, to be like very, very, very clear on that, on not having a bias on every piece. You try to do that, but that one was one that I was really concerned about, if like not having like that, my bias be stronger than the message. And we always look back to, like, I talked with the producers that went with me to do the strip, and we always very proud that, we did like a real fair we were very fair to the story. Like, I have few things that I'm proud of in my life, my dogs, but this series of documentaries is one of them.
Is media like news government controlled over there like it is in America? Because I feel like America, you have to
Mhm.
go to third sources to find what it actually is, because everything's owned by a larger media company that has some holds to the government, which then turn the bias of whatever's being talked about.
Yeah, like, let me be like, very clear about this. There's no such thing as free press. People love to say there's no such thing as free press, because yes, there are there's Russia and China that, they have all the dictators stuff, and the media controlled by the government, and that's not a good thing, obviously. And then we have the free press of the West, in America, in Brazil, but it's not really free when, you have so many advertisers, and you have so many, like, the guys that owns the TV channels. They are friends with the guys that own the beverage and the alcohol beverage. And, like, we couldn't like we couldn't do, as fat as I am, I'm really concerned about, like, child obesity, so we really wanted to make like a piece about child obesity, because it's a serious issue that should be someone should say something. But you cannot do a piece about child obesity without talking about soda. It's impossible. You have to talk about soda. How soda, it's like this everyday thing that should not be. It's boring, to tell the kids that, but that's the reality. You should not have soda every day. But the main sponsor of the show was a soda company. And we would try different pitches, but we knew that soda was gonna be a huge part of we cannot cut soda of the equation, and we never got to do that. Can you believe that we went to Gaza to talk about one of the most polarizing issues of the world, but we couldn't talk about China's obesity because the main sponsor of the show is a soda company. Can you believe the
Yeah.
irony of like, yeah, we cannot, all those bombs, Hamas, Israel, Netanyahu, yeah, let's bring it in. It was like a 3 or 4 week series of documentaries, but we couldn't do 5 minutes about kids getting fat because
Because
that's to
it's
pay the
too
bills.
real and it's too like in your face. The Israel
Yeah,
thing, it's like that's not real. That's like a TV show. It's like you said, you went over there and you felt like it was Call of Duty, even though that's people's lives. That's what
yeah,
we manufactured that feeling. We
yeah.
manufactured that as being fake, even though that's real people's lives. You can
Oh yeah,
so when you watch it as a documentary, even in your mind, you're like, well, this is like a found footage horror movie. This isn't real. This is Call of Duty. But with like
yeah,
fat kids, it's like, no, your kid is being controlled by a company right now, and there's nothing
yeah,
you can do about it. And it's in
yeah.
your face.
This is like, yeah, yeah, it's so wild when you put it like that, but that's the reality. So like, there was a lot of pieces that couldn't be done because like, whoever is in the broadcast like is friends with some guy from some place, so there's no free press at all, at all, at all. Everything like, from but yeah, this show was like a comedy show, but what was a comedy show. But like, if you could do like real hardcore journalism, like our main journalism, like you see the bias, you see the companies that are doing evil shit that they never get like even mentioned, and when they mention on TV, is very quickly and with some fucking like they use like different words, some euphemisms, like what you why you didn't say that properly, so that it's not media is totally like controlled by companies. That's it. You have a little bit like have a little bit of I was talking to my wife about this sort of thing. Like if it was really if media was really free, we would have like something about like child visit like every week in Brazil. But we have like once a year, there's like a piece that they show that lasts like 4 minutes, like during it's a Friday night journalistic show. And that's it. And they already done their job. They showed it's Friday night. It's a 4 minute piece, but they show that child abuse is a bad thing. They do what they can do to prove to you that they are doing the right thing. But it's the very bare, it's a very minimum, and it's just I don't buy it. I don't I really don't buy the free press talk that people love to praise the West for being like super free. It's not free. Someone is paying for it, so never free. It's not free press. I would love free press, but it's not.
Everything's about time control. I was talking to a friend who's a billionaire friend, which I don't know why he talks to me. I think it's kind of like a joke. I think he's like, let
You
me choose
entertain
one.
him. Come on,
Yeah,
Chester, please.
I'm a monkey. Yeah, I got the hat. I got the, but he entertains my dumb questions, and I can like just ask him whatever. And I was talking to him about sports and
Mhm.
American football, how big American football is. Like, it's the biggest thing. It's like a drug. It's like literally a drug for people is watching football every Sunday, buying the merch, everything, whatever. And he's like, but to billionaires, football is their pennies. It's like they sprinkled a few pennies and watch everybody freak the fuck out. And
Yeah,
everybody's obsessed over football or baseball or soccer or basketball, whatever, even though to the people who really own it, that's pennies to them. And they're just
yeah,
like, watch these. it's like having a shark tank, and it's like let's throw some chum in there and just watch the sharks freak out.
Nah, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like,
And that's
the
media too. Media is just pennies to them, but they
of
make such a
course.
profit off of it.
Of course, like it's sad to say, but the same thing happens here. But we just like with soccer, um, but it's like the only people that really love sports are the fans, not even the players. They love sports, they really love soccer. It's like it's sad. It's sad. When I got to cover soccer, like I got like to know the players, and that was not nice because I'm like, oh, this guy is such a dickhead. Oh, this guy's such a son of a bitch. This guy's an asshole. This guy's, fucking wife beater. Why all these guys are shit. And I started to hate, I started hating soccer. I don't know, I love soccer, but I started hating because I'm like, Jesus Christ, all these guys are assholes, And I was doing like international covers like Euro Cup and shit. I'm like, those guys are also assholes. It's the whole world of sports is filled with assholes. So, it's
What
very
is the
sad.
percentage? What's the percentage of assholes to nice people in that level of athlete?
Wow. It's like you have like one nice guy, 10 assholes. One nice guy, 10
Wow.
assholes. One nice guy.
Wow.
It's wild. What
But
money
it's kind of,
does
it's because that, not to give an excuse, but it's because like that life sucks. Because they're just like, it's like, have you met a nice construction worker? It's like, no, their life sucks. Like they
yeah,
have
I
to,
mean,
their days are just grueling as fuck.
yeah. Like like here.
No, no, it's no. Sorry, I don't mean to speak bad on construction workers. That's a
No,
very
no, no.
tough job.
I meant
I've roofed before. That shit's tough.
I got what you meant. Now, but it's like it's usually like guys that because in America I feel like you guys have at least like the college thing. The college leads to football, right? Or to the NBA and
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
We don't
Uh-huh.
have this in here in Brazil, so the guys are even less prepared, like So when they make money they go just wild. They just go wild. The stories that big NBA player, NFL, whatever, NHL, the guys are boring, I suppose. But pick any other, any baller, they are boring close to our ballers. Our ballers, they do crazy stuff. Like serious, like I'm not joking, like uh, uh, Adriano Imperador, like one of the greatest strikers ever. He was, he famous. He got like, he had like this party with like a porn actress, a donkey, and a midget. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. But that was.
Wait, what happened?
I'm sorry, little person. He was wild. He was wild, man.
Wait,
He had
what happened? You can't.
the
What
party.
happened?
Oh, it came out in the news that like because these guys have like such a crazy sex life. They banging chicks like from the moment they get like to the pro leagues. They're banging chicks, and they bang two chicks, and they bang you three chicks, and then they're like, "Yo, I'm bored," So you gotta spice things a little bit. And he did this party. Adriano is famously known for a guy that he got back to live in his original favela, his original hood. He's a local hero. Uh, um, and he was and he was having parties. In one of these parties, it was a party that he brought. He hired this entertainment company that had this show of that has this donkey, this midget, and this porn actress, and they were doing the stuff that well, you can do the math, what's possible. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, you get bored. Like one of the biggest superstars, like, and I cannot like name him. Um, But like he's one of the heroes, like international superstar. Like I'm talking about, like I talk about Adriano because this shit came out in the news, so it's
Yeah.
like it's okay. I'm not gonna get in trouble over that. But one of their biggest stars, he would
They're
have
just
like.
interviewing the donkey. What happened here?
Can you tell us your experience? Yeah, I feel bad for the donkey, man. The donkey didn't want to be there. The donkey doesn't know the guy is a superstar. But yeah, like I got to
The
listen to all
donkey
the.
prefers basketball anyway.
Yeah, I hate soccer. I hate soccer. Oh man, yeah, but
He
like
does
the
now.
big.
If he didn't hate soccer
If you
before,
didn't
that
hate
donkey.
soccer, yeah, because soccer paid for that adventure. But yeah, like you get you like I listen to like the craziest stories. Like,
Wait, yeah, what were you saying about the unnamed superstar?
oh yeah, like like this guy. Oh Jesus Christ! Like this guy, he has like two birthdays. One birthday is like the birthday that he invites like all the people like people in the media, artists, and then bring your wife type of birthday. And then he has the other birthday. It's the birthday with only like we have an expression is Maria Chuteira. How do I translate that? It's like a gold digger that goes for ballers. Very
Yeah.
easy to understand. And they have the normal bring your wife party, and they have the party full of Maria Chuteiras. Just a lot of sex workers that are doing their best to get by, and the
A lot of
players.
hard workers. Yeah.
Yeah, they work with the hard stuff. And so they and this friend of mine, this journalist, he got invited to a birthday of this super soccer player, and he thought, oh, that's great, gonna bring my wife, she's gonna love it. And the moment that they got in this penthouse, and she realized what was happening, she's like, I'm out. I'm going back to the car, and you better be in the car in 5 minutes. And the
At
woman
least she gave him
laughed.
5 minutes of fun. A lot can happen in 5 minutes.
No, she gave 5 minutes just so he could go to the player and say, congratulations, happy birthday. I gotta go because my wife doesn't understand this party full of hoes. You know, she's too complicated to get that.
Too strict.
Yeah, she's nagging me because of hoes, man. Women these days, right? With the feminists and everything. And then he went like, he said, "Oh, happy birthday," da, da, da. And then he was watching, and the guy was like in this VIP area, and he would have like one of those laser points. I don't, it's like a toy, like laser, and he would like bored out of his mind, and uh sniffing a substance. I don't even think you guys have that drug up in there, but it's like a sniffing glue, but it's not glue. But it's like some product along those lines. And he would sniff that, and he would like get that laser pointer, and just like, oh yeah, this bitch. And she would come to the VIP area. He would kiss her in front of the other players, and then okay, okay. Like it was like such a wild thing,
I wish he
But
was sniffing glue because then his arm just gets stuck. And he's like,
you would be I think it
he
would be
can't pull the
some good
arm
physical
off.
comedy. But uh but yeah, like I
It's
think
hard
the
on
guys
Zoom.
it's it's a did you do any Zoom shows during COVID?
I did one and I
How was it?
forgot about it and I was on the highway. So I pulled over into a rest area and got in the back seat of my car
And you
and
did?
did
Oh,
it
you're
from the
kidding
back
me.
seat of my car.
Wow. Here it wasn't a big thing.
It
It was
wasn't a big thing. I only did the one.
Oh no, but in America, the Zoom comedies, the Zoom comedy shows, they were happening, right? It
Yeah, they
was
were. Hmm.
here. It
Yeah.
wasn't happening at all. Like it wasn't happening. It was like I don't remember it. It wasn't here. It was more of a narrative of people like making like starting podcasts, I think. But yeah, I was always curious about like whenever like because I follow a lot of comedians from the U.S. and I was always like, oh, this is I'm like this is not the venue for comedy. It's like it's like this
Yeah.
is that they're like I'm like why they're doing that and they kept doing until it was over and then some people like built the thing like Chappelle built like a thing that you would go
Yeah,
like
his
with
own
masks,
his
right?
own outdoor yeah, his own outdoor venue.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever done stand up in America?
I did like two open mics. I did like two open mics. I hope I can like come back to America. There's like I've been a few years without visiting America, but when I get back, I do have plans like to do it like because I was like
We should get a show. I would love to do a show with you. I'll try to get you a
man
show out here. That would be super fun.
I would love, man. I would love to be part of that because like I really feel that because my all my influence that they come from America. Like I cannot really say that I'm a Brazilian that I'm a fan of like all the classics that Brazil created. I really wasn't following in then, and that's my fault. But that's just the way that I started. Like I really started like watching Chris Rock and et cetera, et cetera. And then I never really paid attention to our great comics. So my style, like when I was like talking to people in US and cracking jokes and doing and the way that people were reacting to them, I was like, I think I can do like an open mic, and I think I can do it well. And I did 2 nights, did it well, and I'm like, yo, this is something to consider for the future. There's a few guys that are doing that route right now. Um, I think our biggest stand-up star, he's moved to New York a few years ago, and he's doing great. I don't know if you know him, Rafi Bastos.
That sounds
He's
super familiar.
he's doing great. He's doing like seller and improv all the time, and he got like I was really like I'm really proud of what he's been achieving because he's also a guy that his references are American stand-up comedians, and he's been hustling in New York for years, and and it paid off. Now he's a regular on Seller. So so he showed that it's possible if you take your time and to do it like 5 minutes a time, and then I'm like, if I can get to be like in US for a couple of months, I would like to start develop stuff because my style is like really close, like the way that I speak, because this is a little bit crazy. It sounds pretentious, but at the end of the day, you are who you are, and if I'm pretentious, I'm pretentious. Like like most of my jokes, my stand-up act, I write them in my head. Like I start developing them in English because that's how familiar I am with learning comedy in English. So the way that I start writing a joke, I write it myself like, oh, da, 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 and the punchline is in English. And then when I write it down, I write it down in Portuguese because I gotta tell people in Portuguese. But I
Yeah.
always think about a joke in English. I start like a rant and like, oh, this is good. This might be something. It's always in English. It's very rare for me to even think in comedy even think in Portuguese when it comes to comedy. It's weird, but that's just the way that's the way things are.
Would you ever come here for months to do comedy?
I would love, yes. I definitely would. I definitely would, because that's. I think that's the place. That's the place to do it. I love doing it here. I love like I had a fantastic 2023. I travel around the country. I toured a lot. I got like sold out venues. It was fun. It was a great year. I'm excited for what's gonna happen this year. but I do think that, at some point, like I'm gonna really want to have like the full comedy experience. That is, you gotta make it in the US. You gotta go to LA, to New York, to, Chicago, whatever the fuck. And I'm really happy with the way things, the way my career is going here. But yeah, definitely, like, it's something that it's not like something that I have taken out of my possibilities. I definitely, like, would love to perform, like, in a regular fashion in the US.
We never even talked about Griselda. How did you find out about? That's
Griselda,
how
yes.
we just did an hour without even talking about
Wow,
Griselda. What?
Griselda. Yeah, and what about Griselda?
What about
Griselda.
Griselda? That's
When
the
I
funniest shit in the. We talked about the most
Yeah,
serious.
and it was the first question to ask. How you got into rap? How you got to Griselda and rap in general? And then
This
I
is how
answered
why I'm
every.
not a professional journalist. I just
Listen, I'm loving I'm loving the opportunity, man. You're such a funny guy, and you passion for hip hop that you got. Like, I really, like, I said it, I was talking to my wife, like, the thing that, like, this guy's like, we're on the same, if we are on the same spectrum of
yeah.
comedy slash.
Oh, we're on a couple spectrums.
Yo, yeah. We definitely got something going on here.
Oh no, I
And
meant autistic. Autistic. I,
oh, you are for real?
no, I was just making. Never mind.
Oh,
It
no,
was
no,
a
I don't
joke.
know.
I was just
Yeah,
making a
I
joke.
know, because I think that, I do think that
I'm not trying to fuck you. Don't worry.
no, but I do think I think that, if we really dig, like, everybody, has, like, something, I think that that's the thing. If you really dig, like, so, I don't doubt that we probably, like, we have, like, a few box ticked. But where was I? Oh, Griselda. I think I think I heard, like, something by West Side back in 2016. Yes, 2016. This friend of mine, called, Rodrigo G. He is one of the top tier, lyricists here in Brazil, and he's a guy very influenced by American, hip hop. Even though he doesn't speak English, he's very influenced by the flows, the different flows that that there are in the U.S. U.S. rappers. And he's like, you gotta listen to this guy, West Side Gun. And I was like, yeah, that's great. And I listen, and I love the guy. And I'm like, I want more, And I was getting all the, whatever, tapes and CDs. I was, like, really getting to that word. Conway, of course, like, it comes, like, very, very quickly, to you. So I'm like, oh, this is interesting. These guys are doing boom bap, and but it doesn't, it doesn't, because I love boom bap, but I understand that maybe it's past gone, maybe it's like, but they're doing it, but it doesn't really sound like the old boom bap. It doesn't sound that, it was Derringer and Beat Butcher. They're not trying to sound like Premier. They're not trying to sound like Knife Wonder. They're not trying to sound like, to, Large Professor. They're doing their own boom bap, and with all that stuff. I'm like, oh, that's it sounds different. And, the image of West Side Gun be built, like, all the stuff that sometimes I don't pay attention that much in hip hop. I'm very music focused. Sometimes I don't watch even, like, music videos, like, for my favorite rappers. I'm really, like, a music guy in this sense. But West Side, like, I was really, like, mesmerized by, all the stuff that he was, the challenging stuff that he was doing, like, to have a series of mixtapes called, Hitler's Words, arms is like is wild, Um, it and the way he was doing that, and like the shock value of the thing, like turning like this image into another thing. I was really wow, this is something really fresh. This guy is really wild. And then the stories that they tell, I was really into that. And as you see in my shirt, like big Eminem fan. And when they signed to Shade Records, I was over the moon because it was supposed to be a duo project. It was supposed to be Hell Nash through Shady Records. They released one song that was produced by Just Blaze. It's a song that it opens with an M going like, and Detroit and Buffalo are very alike, and I just had to try to bring Griselda to the game. Just Blaze, Lord, no, it was insane. I was like, yeah, these guys are gonna take over the world right now. But right now, Shade Records is not like 2002, 2003 Shade Records. Uh, so I think the guys were expecting uh that would be like that. And I think I was expecting that would be like that in terms of like promotion. And I think they did like I think at least they if they gave like uh Griselda like a few of Eminem fans, and I think they did, it's already great. It's already like a great thing. The way I understand that things were rolling out, like West Side on Twitter, he's a guy that he doesn't hold his opinions very much. He if he thinks, he says it. And he
Yeah.
was and I remember him complaining a lot about like the fact that Shady Records wouldn't even tweet that they got like nominated for an award for Dr. Birds, I think. It's the video directed by, I'm sorry, I forgot his name. He's such a classic music video director. But anyways, and yes, so yeah, I think nowadays like Shade Records is more like other than Eminem, it is an indie
Yeah.
label, and I think the guys got in thinking that they were gonna get the 50 Cent treatment,
But
and
it's
and
like
it's
you
not.
when you got into that TV show. It's like you think you're going to be able to do the news stories you really want to do, and then you
Yeah, I
realize
mean,
what it actually is. I think that's
yeah,
what
like
a
you
lot
get,
of rappers sign to a label is they think it's going to be this one thing. And no, 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 the
yeah,
money, the money's
and I
what's in
was
charge.
Yeah, and I was excited because I was like, oh, like this is really great, and I think it was good for Dan because they released at least I think two or three albums. I think there's the Griselda album, and I think that there's the Sunshine album by West, and I think there's a third one that I'm forgetting, but there are at least two that I guaranteed remember released by Shade Records. So I think it was good that they made them. I was sad that the relationship didn't like because he was really like, oh, like it's like this guy was, it's Eminem and he's bringing the guys that I'm into now. Like this is great. But I was kind of sad as a hip hop fan. I was sad that things didn't really work out, and I was expecting like to see them on songs together, everything else. They did one song. It wasn't really like it wasn't the best, the best,
I
the
liked it.
best.
I liked
You
Bang.
like the
I
bang, the
liked.
bang
I
remix?
didn't like the. I liked when it was. I didn't like the remix. I liked just the one with
Oh
Conway.
yeah, yeah, because I was like, and then there was leaked a leaked version came out of the song
Yeah.
where there wasn't the beat flipping because Eminem when he really wants to go like 32 bars 64 he'd make like the beat flip so there's something going on. And the original version he would attack someone, I don't remember who, but one of the guys that media that he has beef with, And they cut that part, and that verse was better the way it was originally. I think they should have released that one, but all in all, like I think it was still good because Eminem has this power. Like his fans, they want everything Eminem related. So if Griselda was related to Eminem, they definitely they definitely got like maybe like hundreds of thousands of fans from that like experience, from that connection. In my opinion, things could have been bigger. I think again, West Side, he has no trouble speaking out on social media. Maybe if you if I always imagine if that like maybe if he hadn't said anything in public, kept that thing like solve that shit like on send a message to Paul, because Paul is really like a guy that handles Shady Records
I met
almost
him
forever.
once. I
You
met
met
him
him.
twice. I've met him twice actually.
I think he hates me. I think he hates because
I
I
think he
annoys
might
him.
hate me. I think he might hate me too.
Yeah, I annoy him
Because
so much on social media, and I'm
oh
like, Paul.
really? I
So
met him in person, and his friend knew who I was, but I was
huh.
on 4 grams of mushrooms.
Oh, you must have been a delight to deal with.
So his friend was like, "This is Sam. He has a podcast and is a comedian." And I'm like, "I love you, but I'm so fucked up right now. I can't even like. I'm like, I look up to you, but I can't talk to you. I'm tripping balls." It was on Thanksgiving.
Oh, but that's a good way of meeting someone. Meeting them on shrooms. I like that. I should do that more often. Usually I do shrooms and I be by myself, but I should do shrooms and
And then annoy him on Instagram. Wait, so
yeah.
what do you annoy him about?
What I don't know. I think like stuff
Why
like
do you think he hates you?
because he never answered me like anything that I sent like for years. And I know that there's people on the Shade Records camp that are aware of my videos about rap. I cannot tell the source, but I know that they are aware of me doing videos, and I don't know what do they think about. I don't know what do they think about, but I know that they are aware that I exist, and I am, because I am like an Eminem fan in the sense of like, I can critique stuff that I don't like, but I think it's very unfair the way that people are like labeling him like the like even in his worst albums he has like great songs, and I think that that's very overlooked, and he's like over under his I think he's more criticized than he should be. I think he gets like a lot of shit like for nothing. But I think I annoy Paul a lot, like about like when like the album was ready like 2 years ago during the Super Bowl thing. Uh, so why there's no album? So I'm always like bugging him about that, and I'm always like, yo, but don't put this person on the album again. Don't put this producer on the album again. Don't that,
Wait, you're DMing him these things?
like I don't think he likes it. I don't think he likes it. I don't think he likes it one
Are
bit.
you gonna stop doing it though?
I will never stop doing that. I love messing with Paul. I love messing with Paul. And until he blocks me, because people say that he blocks people. A few friends they say, "Oh, he blocks. If you talk too much, he blocks." He never blocked me. That is a sign that that he looks. He says, "Motherfucker," and then he continues his day. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm annoying, but I'm a fan.
That's
Uh,
hilarious.
I think that's the part of me that I don't because when you are a comedian you need to be cool all the time. You need to be cool.
No, you
Com-
don't. You don't need to be cool. Comedians are jesters.
I believe that, but there is also a
And
level.
I don't think West Side or Conway would like me if I was trying to be cool. I think they like me because I'm goofy.
Oh, you can. I think, but when you're on stage, don't you think that you
Oh,
need to be a little bit cool, in the sense
you need to be
of
confident. You don't need to be cool.
yeah, confident. But confident is very cool, right? A
I
confident dude
guess,
is a cool
yeah.
dude, because you need something. The audience needs to trust you and feel comfortable around you. If you're not cool or confident, however the word we choose, but there's gotta be some sense of like, why is this guy talking to us?
Oh,
Why
yeah,
why
yeah.
are we letting that? We're letting because he's cool, because he's funny, and funny is cool, all that stuff. Like in
All
real
right, all
life,
right. I agree with you. I agree with
I'm
you.
way
I
more
agree.
goofier, like in real life. And but when I do that kind of stuff, like like uh if Paul Rosenberg, like I'm being completely like myself, goofy, not being cool, and being kind of stand crazy. But that's fun. That's just having fun on the internet. On real life, real business, I gotta pretend I'm cool. I gotta get on stage and I gotta, yeah, yeah, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm the coolest motherfucker
Oh
around.
my
Yeah,
God. That's why I hate sending business emails because I'm like, why can't I say like fuck in this email or put like an emoji? I'm like, I'm not cool. Like, I'm not serious enough to write a business email.
I feel. It's sometimes complicated. Like when you do like a joke, like in a group message with workers, like the people that are working work colleagues. Sometimes they don't
Yeah.
get it as a joke, and they're like, "Oh no, I was joking." I do one, and it's an old gag that I do that when I'm like, there's gonna be like, I do a talk show on Comedy Central slash MTV. They broadcast on both channels. It originally is for Comedy Central. And there's like this, when we're gonna shoot it, we shoot the episodes around like about this time, usually like Thursdays, on like 2 o'clock. And like sometimes, like, we always have good guests, but sometimes we have like premium guests that we cannot fuck it up with the time. They have 40 minutes to get in, get out. And I some and I see the group text going like, everybody, oh, it's gonna happen this way. Oh, here's the like the questions, and here there's gonna be like a segment where he does this, da da da. He doesn't want to talk about that, and everybody's like so concerned, and like everybody's just hyped for that day to everything to go well. And I send like, I just hit them with a message like, is it today? Is the shooting? Is the shooting today? Like for real, it's today in São Paulo, because I'm not even in the city, guys. And everybody goes like, I'm like, guys, don't you get it? I'm a fucking professional. I'm gonna be there. I'm just joking. I'm just
They never get
joking.
the joke though.
They
They
never
never
get the
get the
joke. They get,
joke.
are you serious? You're not here right now? I love those jokes, that are just prank people.
Yeah.
Yesterday I post this picture of, it was my picture, black and white, uh and like on my desk on a talk show, and I was thanking like my grandfather for being like this trailblazer guy, that he did the first show about esports. He did the Pong hour, that was the Pong game. And I was like, and I was telling how important he is, like, because nowadays we have League of Legends and everything, and it all started with my father and with my grandfather in the 70s. And like, of course, like a lot of people understand like this kind of comedy, and they were like, ah, Ronald, you once again, you're doing that. But a lot of people like, you're kidding. Wow, you guys look so much alike. And I'm like, wow, it's really easy to trick
That
people, man.
happened. That happened with me. I posted the Epstein flight log visitor list and
I saw that.
and people were messaging me like, "Bro, you shouldn't brag about that. Like you could get in trouble." I'm like,
Jesus,
do you
Jesus Christ. And it's
people
so,
really did not get
it's
like
wild, man. People, that's the moment that you go like, oh, it's really easy to manipulate people.
yeah.
Because I'm doing just, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Imagine if I had like a budget and an agenda, you know? And boom, that's
Imagine if
how
you
you
had a
do
billion
politics.
dollars.
Yeah, that's how, like if I can do this for fun, imagine like the lies that people tell for money, you know?
Yes.
Those are the mean laughs. Those are the mean lies. My lies, they just like they get people confused, or like, I worked like, like from 2015 to 2000 to 2021. I was out of comedy. Like I was still doing my podcast just by myself, but it was really like niche for the old school fans. My thing was really like journalism, especially music journalism. I was really into that for a few years, and like doing a lot of interviews and etc. etc. And it's really weird, like when people like like I think I more than showed my knowledge, my hip hop knowledge. But one day this guy asks me about Tupac on Instagram, and I post like this thing talking about like the fact that I was very young when Tupac passed. I think I was 7 or 6. So I really don't know Tupac very much. I know Ja Rule. Is Tupac as good as Ja Rule? And and that thing, like people were like rappers that know me and know that they were asking me, "Yo, are you serious? Asking if Tupac was as good as Ja Rule?" I'm like, oh my goodness. Because I like for 2 days, it was just the fans confused or
Yeah.
laughing. I'm like, okay, if the fans are
You're just
confused, I
making
don't care.
they don't understand. But some people are just unfunny. Like some people just don't
Yeah,
get
like
jokes. They just
but when it started like the rappers, like I was like, oh, I cannot ruin my credibility. And then I
yeah.
was like, dude, it's a joke. Of course I know Tupac is better than Ja Rule, you know? I'm aware
You
of
know,
Tupac's music. Because like it's a funny joke until you think that your credibility starts to get ruined. And then you want to be cool. You want to be
that
cool.
happened. You know who Young Thug is?
Yeah, yeah.
So Young Thug's in jail right now, and he had a song called Pushin' P, which is
Uh-huh.
was like prostitution, pimping, like all that. And in court, they said it was positivity. So I did a video where I just read his lyrics, but I said pushing positivity every time. And this guy messaged me so hateful, like
Calling you
it was like
dummy.
the wildest message. And also he was like, and you're trying to put on underground rappers and you want to show shine to a rapper like Young Thug. I'm like, you don't get, oh my God,
Oh,
people
but
are
that's the life.
just so. Have you ever been charged on stage, or has anyone ever gotten mad, really mad at you while you've been doing comedy?
Last year, a woman full and filled with cocaine tried to try like to throw like her glass to me, but her husband was like, nah, lady, not that's let's just leave she got to be on stage. She got on stage. She was, and I was like interviewing her, and it was very
Yeah.
funny. Like I was having fun. The crowd was having fun, and she was like in a very cocaine rage rant, you know and then she had this glass all the time, and she's gonna do something with the glass, and the husband like, yo baby, maybe we should just go home, it's not good. And I'm like, no, let her do what she wants. If she wants to throw a glass, it's gonna be fun. But no, again, I'm a very big guy. Like I think that uh um not like, I'm not making fun of Chris Rock, but like you cannot slap me on stage. That
Yeah.
I know that's guaranteed. Like, because I get a lot of I'm a lefty guy. Like
So you you would fight Will Smith if he slapped you.
I
Would
would
you fight?
fight.
You
Jesus,
would fight Will
I
Smith.
mean, I would. I'm again not trying to be like like Prodigy says. No, I'm not Superman, man. I'm not Superman. That's just like he says on the infamous album. I'm not Superman, but it's about who gets who first. And he wouldn't. He Wood Smith would never walk in my direction to slap me. No, 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 no. And if he could slap me, I would retaliate. It wouldn't be like that. It wouldn't be like that. Chris Rock is a gentleman. Let's just say like that. Because if it depended on me, there would be chaos on national television. I guarantee you that. But no, nobody does that. And when there's like being like a left wing guy, and my show is not a political show, by the way, but I am like a lefty dude, and when I give interviews, people, oh, this communist. I never read even the fucking Karl Marx, so you cannot be I cannot be a communist if I never read the fucking thing. But yeah, my positions are progressive, yada yada yada. Feel the bird. But and some people they want to like do like they want to fret me like, oh yeah yeah, you with your views, I wish I could see you on the street. Da, da, da. I'm like, yo, man, my shows, they're all on my website. You can check in, and what is the closest to your house, and you can go and see them, and I'm gonna be there. And that's what I say. Like, you guys know when I'm available to get my ass kicked, like every night, like every weekend. You know where I am, and you can get off the computer, and you can kick my ass in real life. You just gotta pay the tickets. You know,
He just gotta buy the ticket.
buy the tickets, get into the venue. It's really easy to kick my ass. But I've been doing this shit for 15 years, and the guys, they just don't know how to kick my ass. Buy the
Or
tickets,
they
get
can't
on
afford a
stage.
ticket. They can't afford the
Or
ticket.
they can't afford. And if you cannot afford tickets for a gig, you should not be like taunting dudes on Instagram. You should be like working yourself. But yeah,
Use that time to get a job.
yeah, but I think I'm safe on that thing. Like I used to do like a night with like regular guy, regular cast. And one of the guys were he was being heavily cyber bullied. People were doing like very like creating like images of very dark stuff about him, and he was very sad. I say, dude, get off the computer, close the thing. Don't these people, they don't exist in real life. They don't exist in real life. And I start telling them. I'm telling him, dude, invite them to the show. Whoever sends a message threaten you, just send a link to buy the tickets, and I will handle your security that night. I'm the main star of the show, and I will handle the security. Don't worry. And things went fine. Nobody showed up to kick his ass. It's internet thugs. These dudes, they only exist on the internet. Like real life,
Yeah.
I am
You
lucky
gotta
to
be
be like,
Rosenberg. You just gotta ignore it.
you gotta ignore it. You gotta ignore it.
You
Like just
gotta be
just like
Rosenberg.
Rosenberg did this with me, man. It's all good. Rosenberg, I'm still gonna get. I just want an answer when the album's coming. When the album's
Yeah.
coming, Rosenberg. When Eminem album's coming. Just give me an answer, you know? And just tell me, please, that Skylar Grey is not in it. Just say that. Just tell me that Skylar Grey is
Oh,
not
she
in it.
sucked. I shouldn't have said that. I
She's
should.
she's a great person. I have no doubt about that. But I just hate the
I
music they make
hate.
together.
I hate. No, I hate Eminem with any female singer singing the hook. Not even Rihanna. None of those songs are good to me.
You are right. You are right. You are right. You are right. I do like I do like the songs he did with Jessie Reyes. I like because
Oh,
she's
you were right. She's great. That was the only one I liked, the Jesse
yeah,
Reyes one.
because she
Yeah.
doesn't go that she doesn't the regular pop thing. She brought she brought him into her indie pop world, and he adapted that very well. And I would like to see more of that. And but those are not very commercial songs. Those are not very commercial songs. None of them were hits. One of them got a video clip, a music video, and because you guys say music video, but in Brazil we say video clip. That's why I say so many times video clip.
Oh,
Uh, but the music, you got a music video. It was a single, but didn't, because it doesn't have that, that particular progression that I love the way you lie had just that so many like hits have. And I understand, like, I used to do a joke that Rihanna is great, but I prefer when Eminem's Rihanna was Nate Dogg. That was the best Rihanna that he had. I love Rihanna, and I loved and I like the fact that I understand that when you're mainstream, super duper rap star, you gotta have two singles that maybe you don't love that much, but they sell
yeah.
the record. So I love the way I was like, I'm okay with that song because I can skip it, but that song helped
It's
like
like How to Love by Lil Wayne. I hate that song.
yeah, it's like Juice by Notorious B.I.G. He didn't like the beat. As soon as he recorded and was done with the verse, he's like, oh, this is gonna be the song that's gonna make me famous. And he was. He wasn't a big fan of, and I'm not a big fan of Big Papa, you know? Like the singles of I understand that if you do the
I
singles on
hate
a pop,
all
like,
of Jay-Z's pop songs.
yeah, like
Jay-Z doesn't know how to put out a good pop song.
a pop song. What's a Jay-Z
Empire
pop song?
State of Mind.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is a song that's like it works for normal people. It's worked for
Grandmas,
Coldplay fan,
yeah.
for Coldplay fans. But like my New York song is New York, it's New York State of Mind. It's
You
it's
know what my least favorite pop rap song is? California Love. That makes you want to
California.
take a shit. Tupac.
You don't like California
No,
Love?
that song makes me want to vomit in a toilet.
I like that song. I like that song. I like that song. I like that song. I like the song. I like it, but I get it. But I get why would you not like it? And what I totally get it. Yeah, I mean I understand. Like the hit singles, they are hit singles. Like I don't think Eminem is crazy about Rios Lynn Shady. I don't think he is a song that he's like, oh, I put all my emotions here. No, he's just like, let's get what's in the news, what's in the pop culture pages, and let's just, shit on everybody, and Eminem is back. That's it. Uh, I think he knows that is like the jingle for Eminem. That's the jingle. That's one that they catch the kids, and then you get into the hardcore stuff of this album. You get like songs like "I'm Back," "Criminal," etc. Yada yada. So I understand that you gotta have like some catchy singles, but I think that Eminem like nowadays he does like half of the album that are like supposed to be like romantic Eminem. I hate romantic Eminem. Eminem,
Hate
please.
romantic Eminem, love romantic West Side Gun. Any love song West Side Gun does, come here, bitch. I love that.
Yeah,
Bitch always needs to come here.
I like romantic West Side Gun. I like when they talks to the ladies. I like that. I cannot front. I was listening to Conway
Did you like that song with
last record.
Ty Dolla Sign? Where he's like,
What? Which one?
wanna kill you, wanna
Oh
kill you.
man, I was it's funny like how that happens. Because really, I was listening to Conway, and he was rhyming like I ate her pussy and she was da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah, man, that's what's up. But if Eminem does the same thing, I'm like, man, come on, man,
Yeah.
fuck that. I don't want to hear that.
It's
You
because
talk
Eminem's
about
not cool. Eminem's not
yeah,
cool.
Eminem is not cool. Eminem is supposed to be this menace to society, this weirdo, this guy that
He's
you
white
just want.
trash. He's supposed to be the king of the white trash. That's
Yeah, like, and when he's talking about, oh, you hurt my feelings, I'm like, oh no, man, no, I don't care about you hurt your feelings. No, I don't care about that. But he does that, in his head, in his mind, is the songs that those are the songs that he makes for.
But no
Um,
women are listening to Eminem love songs that aren't
no,
actively on heroin.
they but that, yeah, that's the thing they do. I see a lot of Eminem, like, women fans, and they love the when he shows that side, and I'm like just fucking, get an alias and do an album for Dan, but I don't know, but I'm still here 20 years later, still a big fan of Eminem, still excited for everything he does, and still a supporter. If you wants to go the whole album talking about love, I'm gonna listen to the whole album. Because even when I don't like an Eminem song, I still go like, oh, but he has those lines, right? I am that kind of stan. Like, I can listen to a song that I hate the hook, but I love the lyrics. I'm like, okay,
You've
it's one
never
of those.
tied up anyone in your trunk listening to
No, no,
Eminem.
no, no, no. I never did
You're
that.
not that type of stan.
Yeah. I am the living proof that hip hop cannot ruin your life. Hip hop doesn't turn you into a criminal. A very, big listener, never sold crack. Very, like, I don't
There's
know what
always a
else.
chance. You could go do
There's
it
always a
tomorrow.
chance. There's always, but I suck in the kitchen, so I don't think I would be able to. I will have to buy crack to sell crack,
You
and
would
I
have to do
think,
microwave crack, like a
yeah,
stove of microwave
yeah.
crack.
But I've been trying. Like, if you really listen,
You've
like,
been trying recipes.
no, I because like, it's impossible to listen to Griselda and, like, especially, like, like, my favorite rapper right now is Stove. Like, from the since he put out his album, all the features, like, I just love him so much. And this is a guy that I reach on his DMs, and he's always very nice because I'm always very nice. When I start pissing him off, he's not gonna be so nice. I'll never piss you off, Stove. But I'm
He's
like,
coming on the podcast soon, Stove God.
for real? Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. Like,
I got to
I
host a show doing comedy for Stove God headlining.
oh, that must be. Oh, this is something that I would love to see happening here in Brazil. Like, the connection between, like, comedy and rap is very strong in the US. Like, from the like, you have Kendrick Lamar doing music videos with in December. That's, like, insane. The fact that Kendrick Lamar is rhyming on a Lonely Island song, and
Literally.
You have Chris Rock, have, like, Dave Chappelle, no, doing, like, stand up with, just Black Star, just Talib Kweli, and Yazin Bey. Yazin Bey is the correct
Yeah.
pronunciation.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Doing music, and I would love to see that in Brazil. In Brazil, like, rappers are more, like, tough. This thing is changing. This thing is changing. I'm trying to help with the change, like, making, like, more fun situations. Like, I even, like, a direct, like, a rap music video. Like, I
You
wrote
should do a cooking show with one of the rappers.
man. I am. Me and a friend of mine who is, like, this. He's a superb chef. We are doing it. I don't know why I'm whispering the microphone. It has no effect.
We're on Zoom.
We are doing a show that, we take, like, rappers, to eat, like, in the best place of like, their hoods, like, like, if because here we have, like, fantastic food, that is cheap, and people don't know. So we want to give props to those business, local business, and like, I always like to interview, MCs and etc. And it's and so we're doing this. Yeah, we're doing a show, with,
Damn, I
taking.
want to come down and do an English show down there.
Come over, man. Come over. Come over. Come over, because the doors are open. And if there's something I know about Brazil, is that like we are very good hosts. We
Is there enough English speaking audiences and stuff?
No, no, unfortunately, no, no, no. That
All right.
English is like we don't speak English, but we try like whatever you try to communicate. A Brazilian dude will try to what you want eat like what you want comer okay you
Yeah.
want whatever you want
But
like
like you would never do an English comedy show down there, like for people who spoke
here.
English. Yeah.
Um, Recently, they and this English, there's like this English school, they built like this comedy night, where Brazilian comedians, they are doing material in English to English, like from the school to learn. So there's a night that's been happening. Uh, I was invited to do it. I haven't done it yet, but I want to at least try. Because these guys that are doing, they are dudes that they're already super pro here, and they want to do the Rafi Bastos thing. They want to go to the US and they want to try some English with audience that are learning English. So it's a very cool concept. I got invited to do it once. I haven't figured out exactly how to do it, because I'm like, is the audience really like, are they really good to get the English? Because some of the part of
Or do
the
you have to be
of
clean because it's a school?
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think so, because it's
Okay.
open for other people. Like not only this, but if you
Oh,
if
okay.
you want to hear the comedian, yeah, it's open for everybody. Everybody, just gotta buy your tickets. But it's open for everybody. So I'm thinking I might do I might do that, but it's not really my plan. But I think it would be at least fun to, because I don't know, like I'm not a perfect English speaker, but I think that I think I know I speak like way above, like what's this like with the standard. So I'm like, will people understand me if I do the show in English, or do I have like to dumb down even my English during the show? So I don't know about that. But I think I could do it. I think that there is this night, like every week they do a night of this fashion, like Brazilian comedians telling jokes in English to Brazilian uh learning English fans. It's cool. I don't know.
That's awesome. Man, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate your time. We did almost 2 hours.
Oh, wow, yeah. I mean, I know that I can talk too much sometimes, and I
No,
apologize.
bro, this was incredible. This is one of my favorite podcasts in a while, and I do hope we
Whoa,
get to link
man.
up in person again or at
Wow,
some
that's
time.
great. Yeah, I would love to link up in person. Like when I show in the US, and if you come down to Brazil, like I would love like to get this small connection that we started, and make it something bigger. It would be a delight, because again, like I do appreciate uh you doing comedy, and you like so close connected and aware of hip hop. And so like I really see you as like, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of me in this dude. That's very cool. So like,
And I see you talking to you. I was like, damn, we're hella similar. And I'm gonna look up that interview you did with Crooked Eye. And it sucks because I want to watch all your stuff, but I won't understand any of it because I'm
yeah,
dumb. I'm
the,
a
the,
dumb
the interview is
American.
the only thing. Yeah,
I'm
the
a
interview is good because it's English.
But
But
like
yeah,
I want to go watch your documentary series on God, but it's like I'm just a dumb American, you know what I mean?
But I'm thinking about I'm thinking about doing something that the network should have done years ago. Is just adding subtitles. I'm gonna get like a pirate version, put it on YouTube with
Oh,
subtitles.
please do.
It,
Please do.
I'm thinking about doing. It's in my plans, like to get it done, because I want this to reach more people, because it was really an exclusive piece. Like it's hard for journalists from anywhere in the world to get the images and get the interviews that we got. So yes, I'm gonna get subtitles on that. I promise you, and I'm gonna send you with subtitles ready to go.
Please do. Thank you so much for doing this. I really
I,
appreciate it.
I appreciate you a lot, man. I appreciate you for the time, for being here to have fun and talk about like all this crazy stuff, donkeys and midgets and porn stars.
That's all I wanted to talk about. Have a good one, man. It was great talking.
One love.
All right, peace.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey,